Yo, what is up, everybody? Hey, Efe, man, hi! You joined super fast. I started like 2 seconds ago and you already just hopped on. What's up, bro? Guess what? We got another update for Ashes of Creation. So I'm excited for that. Let's go. Give me a second, I'm just gonna make sure that everything is working properly. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. Looks like I'm live. It says Medieval Dynasty. Maybe we should change that real quick. Cool. Let's go, Ashes of Creation. Guess I didn't miss the thing, bro? Yeah, you hopped on exactly when I started, so... Yeah. Efe. Efe sounds similar to a swear word in Samoan. I lived in Samoa for 2 years. This is what I was looking for. Category. This is what I was looking for. Let's change this. Let's go. Sorry, I just getting this set up. Last time I streamed, for some reason there was like a hiccup and it like reverted all my settings. So nothing is automated anymore. I have to do everything manually, basically. Okay, Ashes of Creation. There we go. I think we're all set now. Yeah, this video just came out 3 hours ago. So I'm excited to see it. I haven't watched any of it yet. You should have more subscribers than PewDiePie? Dude. No. PewDiePie is our king. I'll never have that many subscribers, but thanks. Wizzy! Hey, thanks for the follow, Wizzy. That was really nice. McNasty. I like that. Wizzy McNasty. That's a cool name. Yeah, that's... Is the music a little loud? I don't know. I kind of like jamming out to the music, but... Here, I'll turn it down just a little bit. How about that? That might be a little bit better. Whoa. I mean, we should turn the music off for this, but... I'm gonna get better controls for the music as time goes on. I'm still a poor streamer though, so I don't have all the cool gizmos yet. Alright. Well, let's see. All right, man. I'm super excited for this. Let's check out this latest update for Ashes of Creation. So tell me your Ashes of Creation story. My story is I'm a huge fan of the game. I've been playing a lot of MMORPGs, and yeah, I'm just eating up all the news that I can get when it comes to Ashes of Creation. FA, you should have more subscribers than PewDiePie. Yeah, I heard you said that before. That's really nice of you to say. Yeah, so let's get going. This came out like 3 years ago. I've been following Ashes of Creation for about a year, was he? For about 1 year, yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Salutations and welcome to our Glorious Ashes of Creation June
Who's this guy?
update.
Michael
We hope
Bacon.
that you all have been having a wonderful month. I know on our end we definitely have. It's been a very exciting. I
He's
am
got that
Margaret
epic
Crone,
beard,
your community
man.
marketing lead, and I'll be kind of guiding you on this tour today. And with me, as
This is
always,
the kind of guy you want
our
working on an
creative director, Steven
MMORPG.
Sharif. How are you doing,
A
Steven?
freaking wizard.
I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. And of course, we have our special guest. We're going to try to rotate out our guests each month. We have Michael Bacon, the one, the only. Everybody loves Bacon.
Yay.
I gotta do like an air horn.
Right.
And who's the special dev that you brought with you?
Oh, this is Judo.
Oh, Judo.
She's part of our optimization team.
And she's like 14 years old, right? She's an
Yeah,
old lady.
yeah, it's an old lady girl. Yeah.
Oh,
She's 14.
precious.
When I met my wife, we went out and got a cat together like the first week. So
Aww.
I just jumped the gun and premonition, all that stuff.
You
That's how you knew
it was
she
meant
was
to
the
be.
one.
Aw.
That's how we knew she was the one.
And now you have like 3 or 4 cats, right?
It's kind of fun watching like the
Yeah,
beginning
4.
of these
That's
update
cool.
videos because you get to learn more about
Always
the
posting photos of
developers.
his awesome
I
cats
feel like there's a pretty
lounging on the Marshall
personal
stacks, like
connection between the
like,
community and the developers, which is pretty cool.
which you're going to see some more edgelords later today. But to give you kind
What
of
about you,
a
Izzy?
run through of what
Have
you'll
you
be
been
seeing
following
today,
AOC
we are
for a
going
while?
to go through our reminders. We have a studio update from Steven. We have a design/engineering goodies coming up, and we'll also have a short little video that will be going through some environments and talking a little bit about combat revamp updates, and we also have our environment art and character art update. And we're going to give a little bit of extra time for Q&A. We know that last dev update,
Q&A.
people were like,
I love
"You didn't do
Q&A.
enough Q&A." So we're going to try to do quite a few more questions.
How
this
else
time
am I
for you
supposed to
all.
break down
And of course, if
this
you
video into a
missed
million
it,
different videos if there's not a
Steven did do an
Q&A?
AMA with the MMORPG Reddit community. So if you're kind of a newer person to our community, that might be a great resource for you to check out. But a lot of those questions, I feel like maybe we've answered some of those in the past with our more hardcore fans. So the questions that we have in this Q&A segment will be newer questions.
I came into the community on Lazy Peon Hype Train last August.
Of course, we do
Yeah,
have
I think that's
our
when most people
monthly
came in.
cosmetic swap over for Deeds of the Dauntless, which will be July 7th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Pacific, as noted in our news.
So this pack right here, I think is like all right, but I'm tired of all this like cutesy stuff, you know? I want some like big freaking warrior blades, like blood dripping, that type of stuff.
We always let you know when they're going to be swapping over a whole month in advance.
I think
so you
this
know
looks
exactly
okay.
How
I like this mount. This like dodo bird with a freaking halberd on its beak is pretty cool.
With, that tells you a little bit about the Alpha 1
and the armor is all right, but this is the only
if
thing
you still
that I
have any
would
further questions,
really like in
definitely
this
reach
pack.
out to us through our support Twitter or put in a CS ticket. And
yeah,
would
we
love
do
to
need a
assist you.
beefy pack. They
I
had
also
one
wanted
like
to talk a little
4
bit
months
about
ago,
our web
but
updates. You've probably seen we've done some downtime throughout the month in order to resolve some issues. One of the main ones that we resolved was causing some legacy users to have login issues. So we've resolved that now. We put in a bunch of bug fixes for just other little things that we noted or that people reported to us. So thank you so much. that the last update that we had, the big
She looks
one,
different
had
without
a
her
lot of
glasses.
account related things oriented to it. So we definitely wanted to give it a little time before we implement anything new. But we do have our next update. We'll be adding in another payment option. You guys have highly requested a PayPal option, so we're going to add that as a third payment option. And keep giving us your feedback on all of the things, and we'll continue to update stuff. We will have some new updates coming for like the support page and forums eventually as well, coming down the line. And we'll keep you guys updated on when those are coming. Further on the updates front, we have our dev discussions. In last month's dev discussion, we
These have
asked
been
you,
pretty
what
cool.
are
I've only
some
participated
of
in
the
one of them.
elements that make for a more realistic or lifelike world when you play a game? From NPCs to environments and beyond, how much does realism matter to you generally? And I know that this is going to help Bacon's team greatly. They're very excited.
I really hope that they do voice acting, kind of like Elder Scrolls Online.
To
I don't know.
hear
I
your
think that's
feedback
one of
on
the things
that
that
front.
really
He's
makes
thumbs-upping right
questing
now.
and the
Here,
story,
I'll put the camera back up so you can the
like
mirror.
the story,
There you go. I need someone out there is going to make a
realistic to
gif of
me.
it. And of course, next
Dope.
month we have another dev discussion, which is actually about guilds, which will be interesting because we do also have our guild gathering, which is a little bit different. And last month's was, or I guess this month's was, share your fondest guild memory from your history of gaming. Bonus points for sharing pictures and or videos. And oh my gosh, you all have shared so many beautiful
Hey,
memories with us.
JB,
I
I
believe
want to be a
Toast might have
dwarf
already made a
tank and a
report for this
blacksmith.
one and
That
shared
would
it
be
with the
pretty cool.
team. We
That's
really
some
enjoyed
real
hearing your
roleplay
guys'
stuff right there. That's awesome.
nostalgia, and we definitely want to
Have you
bring
bought an
back
alpha or
those
beta
feelings.
pack?
A lot of
You know
us
what? Let me just. I have not bought an alpha or a beta pack. I don't have enough money. Like, for me, the only reason I'd buy it, first of all, I haven't really liked the way the packs look lately. So the only reason I'd buy it is to get access to make content. I don't even really want to play for myself. I just want to make content about the game. Part of the selfish part of me wants to wait till the game is like really solid before I jump in so I can just experience it and love it. But I think I would have a lot of fun making content too. But I don't have $500 to play the alpha for 1 month. Although that is a lot of
share
content, I just
similar
don't have that
vibes.
kind of money.
So it's cool to make.
So I applied to
it's
the
cool to see
content
that
creator program.
our
But
stars
since
are
I'm
aligned
still
and
a
we all agree on those
newbie, like
fronts. And of course, our next one is going to
I'm
be
still a
about
little streamer,
internal
so I don't know if they're
conflict.
gonna
So I'm definitely
accept me in.
curious what you guys will have to say about that. So keep tuned next month for all of those discussions. Beyond that, just so you know, and as a reminder, of course,
By
that
the
we
way, JB,
have
thanks for
the
joining the
upcoming
stream,
Alpha
man.
1 preview
Welcome.
spot test that have been going on
Welcome
every
to the
month
crew.
or every week, in some cases multiple times a week. Our next one will be today, actually, at 2:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific, with an upcoming test on July 1st, 2021 at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific. Of course, all times and things are subject to change, so we definitely highly recommend that you check the Alpha 1 access
No
on the
NDA.
forums
July
and
9th.
discussion channels for those. And if you don't know how to access those, you can head over to our Twitter.
Yeah, see,
Twitter.
you can play for 3 days here, and you can play for a month here. So $500 just for this playtime. If I was made of money, totally, I'm all in. But I just don't have that kind of money. I get where you are coming from on that. Yeah. I just hope they accept me into the content
AOC
creator
support
program.
channel, because that has a pinned post with all the information on it.
Because I don't
and a
need all the
reminder that
pack
the visual
stuff. I just
NDA
want to
is
make
still in effect,
content.
but the verbal NDA has been lifted, so you can talk
And
about
I'm super excited for the
everything
game. So
with
just
your
to
heart's
play it early
content,
too would
but
be
no
fun.
streaming and no sharing videos. And of course, last but not least, we do have our content creator program, which
Yeah,
is now
this is
taking
what I was talking about.
applications. But I do have some notes in regards to that. Remember, as noted from our previous live stream, we have so much interest from you guys that
I applied
we
to this the
actually have
first day it
decided
came
to
out.
hire on a new staff member. We are looking for an influencer relations specialist to help us out, and that's over on our career page. If you want to go check that out, intrepidstudios.com/careers. And if you know somebody that would be great for the position, feel free to share that application with them and have them apply, as we'd love to see from them. I've already started doing some interviews, so it's been exciting. And of course, we'll be opening up a secondary program. We talked a little bit about this last month.
Man, I like
and
how
we
my
are calling that
headphones
the Content Creator Training Academy, where we'll help content creators level up their skills to be able to graduate to our official content creator program, because we truly feel that there's so much
I hate
passion for
this.
Ashes of Creation, and we really, really want to give back and
Nope.
help you guys grow, because
I don't like that.
we're excited too.
I don't like this content creator like boot camp training program they're doing. Like they're gonna put resources and time into basically small streamers that they don't want to give access to the game yet, just because they don't want to turn them down or hurt their feelings. Like, I don't know, as much as I want to be in it, I'm never gonna do the boot camp. Even if I get accepted into the boot camp. It's just dumb. I think they should focus on making their game and not focus on babying content creators. Yeah. Margaret will be on stream tomorrow answering questions, many of which will be focused on the official content creator program. Yeah, maybe I'll have to hop on and listen to that. I'm sure I can. I have like lots of comments and stuff, but the boot camp is pretty stupid.
And of course,
maybe
do
the
note
boot
that
camp
some
will be
people might
awesome,
not make
but
it into either
the
of
way it
these
sounds so far
programs.
is that it'll
And
be
if you
pretty
don't,
dumb.
we'll always let you know why and what you can do, so you can reapply at a future date whenever you've improved on those fronts. And I think that's it for my studio
It'll be on
updates.
Pathfinder's
So I would love to
podcast?
toss it over to you,
Okay,
Stephen,
cool.
to talk a
Yeah, I'll
little
have
bit
to
about, or my reminders. I'd
check
love
that
to
out.
toss it over to you to talk about studio updates. Got a little
Yes.
dyslexia there.
So first of all, I want to apologize for us being an hour, pushing the stream back an hour today. We had some technical difficulties as we were trying to get some recordings. Today is actually a big day from a Alpha 1 preview testing standpoint, because a lot of hard work has been put into revamping the back end of the combat system that was spearheaded by Adam Pippich.
Are we getting a sneak
and
peek?
helped by
Let's go.
Keenan and Mike and Hunter and Trad, a lot of people, Brian Ferguson, a lot of people helping get that back end revamp in place, which will then allow us to start doing some significant changes on the front end. Basically, what the players will see.
So we won't really see it yet.
Of combat. Some of those changes already have been in, but we're going to be testing a lot of that today and probably over the weekend with some of our Alpha 1 testers. It is a big day, so big congrats to that team who spent a lot of hours over the last couple of months working on the back end stuff. So very excited about that. But we did have some technical difficulties trying to record today's video, but that's okay. It's going to be a really short video, just to preface it. Studio update wise, though, things are going well. We have about
that's why we watch these things, right? Is the short videos
back in the studio?
Sad. I'm supposed to be testing right now,
the
but my internet
did
is
get
dead.
delayed by a couple of weeks, so we're right now in like a temporary setup. I shared a picture with our PI.
Wait, Wizzy, are you one of the testers? Do you have alpha access? That's crazy. Share some of your money with me.
We're kind of crammed into one section with some temporary furniture and whatnot over the next few weeks, because we wanted to be there.
Put in
for Alpha 1 testing,
a good word for me.
Design, engineering, and QA all in one place together, so we can collaborate as we come across issues. But that's a big step in the right direction. When the furniture does come in, which I believe is scheduled for first week of July, we will then move our entire team back into the studio. So that's going to be very exciting. It's a great looking new studio. I know Margaret's chomping at the bits to get a cool video up and running to show you guys, get a tour.
We were talking about doing some time lapse, because we still have some like paintings and things that are going to be doing on the office, like the murals and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it would be cool to see if they're down with being recorded. It'd be cool to be able to record a time lapse of those.
Yes,
that's cool.
And of course, just kind of show you guys what's going on. I think it'll also help with our social. I know Peter, who is our social media manager, is going to be very excited to kind of be able to take some photos and video and maybe share some stories on like our Instagram of like developers actually, like you can see them doing their work. Obviously we show you every month what we're doing, but a little behind the scenes action would be, always fun. And we're going to be bringing on a new video person soon. So we definitely have lots of plans to bring like dev discussions back.
They're expanding so much.
Or not dev discussions, dev diaries. I'm thinking about dev discussions.
Do you think it was always their plan to expand this much with Steven's investment? Like, is Steven the one supporting all this expansion, or is it the packs and stuff that they're selling? Like, has he always planned to expand this fast?
Dev diaries, we want to definitely do more of those and kind of showcasing
how much freaking money does he have?
Obviously, we've been trying to be as transparent as we can. For those of you who are part of our alpha spot test, you get to see you know, the nitty gritty of every week's test. And then, of course, beyond that, you know, our bigger test that we're going to be doing with more people.
Yes, I know. I noticed people said Soft Peter is the social media. No, this is actually a
No.
different Peter. This is Peter Basulka.
School. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
no, very exciting. So, another on the other side of that, obviously, we as we get back into the studio, you know, we've mentioned this obviously in the past. We are still continuing to hire. We have a lot of positions that are open, multiple of individual positions. So the community team does a great job sharing that across all of our social media. If you guys do see that, feel free to give us a retweet. Feel free to tag your favorite developers and let them know that we're hiring. We are growing the team very large for this huge project
Has
that
it
we are
been
creating.
interesting for you seeing The Office from
Hey,
what it was before
Ruck23,
and
man.
now
Thanks
the
for
new Office and
joining.
how many
Oh,
people
you
and
mean
all
This
the new
just appeared in my
faces?
recommendations
old
for some
sweatshop
reason.
that we
What the
were
heck is Ashes of Creation?
It was starting to get like
Ashes of Creation is a brand new MMORPG. I say brand new, but it's an alpha right now, and there's a lot of hype for it. So it's a
sardine,
video
that's
game.
for sure.
It was getting very sardine. Used to be. Now
I don't
we
know
have
how
a
into
lot of space. I
MMORPGs
mean,
you are, but
there is a
this is
lot
what
of
this live stream
spaces
is
in
about.
this new office. You know, we're over 25,000 square feet of studio space, so it's
Wow.
it can hold, I believe, up to 300
This is just one of the
developers.
game
You know,
updates that
we
we're
have
watching.
a lot of fun plans in that studio.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
very excited.
Feel free to
for
stick
that.
around,
Yes,
Ruck.
you know, one thing I do miss about the old office is we had a couple of garage doors, and when it got a little warm,
Oh,
you know, during
yeah.
the summer, you could just open up the garage doors and just let the wind flow through the studio.
Oh, you
We
play
also had
Terra? Cool.
fans that were, no joke, the fans
That's
were
way
created
cool.
by a company called Big Ass Fans.
I've
That
never
was the
played
name,
Terra.
that was the name of the company. And we would let those fans go like crazy. Now we don't have the fans. It's much more officey, but you know, it's still
I think
fun.
it'll feel more homey
I
once
think
we
I'm gonna
get
search
all
about it.
the actual
Hey,
furniture.
if you're gonna search somewhere, check out on my channel. I just released a pretty cool video about the class system. It has a whole bunch of gameplay footage and stuff, so that you can see if you'll like the game. I'm really excited for it.
And the decor
Or watch Lazy
and
Peon's
Oh,
video.
now
yeah,
it definitely
Lazy
feels
Peon's video is
like
probably
a,
the best one.
like a corporate office that you've probably
Oh,
seen a million
yes.
places. But we're
For
gonna make
sure.
it fun and also have like some arcade games and a little gaming room for folks for their breaks and stuff like that. So we'll have
Oh,
lots of fun space.
I didn't intend to buy the Alpha 1, but NDA got pushed back and they sold packs. I had to try to coordinate guild recruits and guild mates going into testing while not having access to NDA channels. Upgrade my pack kind of needed to happen. Then they dropped everything about the visual NDA 3 days later. Yeah, they've been changing a whole bunch about the NDA for the alpha testing and stuff lately. It's crazy that you have access to that. I'm really jealous. All right, cool, Ruck. Yeah, go check. Lazy Peon has probably the best video, but then definitely come back and check out some of my videos.
And once it's all
gonna
done
lower
too,
this.
we'll kind of give you guys
I
a
feel like
tour
I'm
of the
peeking a little bit.
studio, and it'll
Yeah,
be a lot
and
of fun.
I'm excited too because once it's all done, we also have some backers from the old Kickstarter days who actually are entitled to an in-person studio tour.
Yeah, so we'll be inviting you.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm super excited for that. I love hosting events and like creating events, so that's going to be really, really fun for me.
Yes.
And event seasons are starting up now that COVID's kind of like people are wrapping up everything.
I noticed
so.
Horrendous in chat says you'll need to find a new ice cream truck. For
Oh
those
my
of you
gosh,
guys
that
who
ice cream
don't
truck.
know, those of you guys who don't know, at the old studio we used to have an ice cream truck that would come by, and one time I went out there and I bought like all of his stuff in the ice cream truck and distributed it through the studio. So ever since that day, he would every day just prowl around outside the studio. Remember
He's
that?
like,
"There's
you
a
wanna buy
chance.
more?"
He'll
And
buy
then there were
everything
days,
again.
there were days where I like didn't come out to buy his truck basically, and he would just sit in front, like staring through the window, like a lost puppy dog. He's like, "Please buy my ice cream truck." I
Aw.
was
Oh
like,
my
"No,
gosh.
go away, shoot."
That probably made his day.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's the studio update. Things are looking good. We're excited to be back in office, and we are hiring.
Yes, and we
Yay.
might start doing, live streams a little differently again. Either probably not next month. Next month's going to be probably more playing the game, but because we'll be in alpha. But the next month after that, we'll probably all be in person together. So we'll have a different vibes than this in the future. So stay tuned
Okay.
for that.
Cool.
And of course, we'll move on to our design stuff. Do you want to play the video first?
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
this is
play,
it,
let's play
guys.
the video first.
Everyone,
I just want to
shh.
preface the video,
Let's
obviously.
quiet down.
So this video is
Let's
only
watch
about 8.5
this.
minutes long. Last time we had a very long video, and we didn't quite get to a lot of Q&A, and I know that's a highlight for many of our longtime followers in the Ashes community. Love getting those questions into the thread. Sarah's compiled those, obviously, and we're going to spend a little extra time on today's stream getting some additional questions and answers in. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. This video, just short overview. We're just basically looking at one of the cool areas in the environment to kind of show you the differences between these areas that exist in the world. It kind of sets entirely different moods.
Oh wait, is this the game that many people said is a spiritual successor to WoW? I think it's gonna be completely different than WoW, but a lot of people think this is gonna be the one to do it.
Do that
to
through
do
like
WoW in.
volumetric
Although Final
fogs and
Fantasy right now is
lighting,
kind of
and, the
kind of
cool
taking
looking
that
Bacon's gonna
spot
have
already.
an awesome time talking about this after the video.
Unfortunately, I'm a
we
huge
show
WoW
off some
fan.
of the additional costumes. We show off some of the environment. We show off one of the big monster dudes. I talk a little bit about the passives. We've added passives in on the combat side. Show a little bit of the action reticle mode. But basically, it's just an 8 to 9 minute long video. And we're like I said, I'm thinking maybe this weekend I'll try to record another video. Maybe, don't hold me to it. But if I do record another video, we'll throw that up on
okay.
YouTube. So
Or maybe
this
next
is just
week.
All right, guys, this is it.
test,
Let's see this new gameplay
yeah,
footage.
exactly. All right, so we'll see you guys in there.
We'll see you on the flip
All
side.
right, let's see this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream day with Ashes of Creation. I am joined today by our amazing senior community manager, Lieutenant Toast, the tiniest of toasts. Hey, Toast.
Greetings. I am very, very tiny today.
Yeah, I see you
Very
got your.
cordy.
You're being responsible with your mask, your little COVID castigator, or
think you mean
Corvid.
This girl
Corvid?
freaking
My
has.
apologies.
She's got like
Yeah, I'm
death
wearing
night eyes. What the heck?
Extra safe today.
It seemed appropriate, Corvid Cascade. And we also have the edgiest of edgelords, lead community marketing, Miss Margaret Crone. How you doing, Luperza?
It looks cool. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty
Oh
sweet.
my God.
Whoa. Nice
The,
dude.
I know.
Shot?
I like the energy eyes.
This is
That's
only
good
at
touch.
I know. It's so cool.
They recorded this in 4K, but I'm only able to play it back to you guys in 1080, so it's gonna look a little
And
fuzzy and
then
blurry.
the man, the
That's
myth,
just
the
my bad.
legend himself, the bacon of baconists, Mr. Michael Bacon.
Baked
Hey.
bananas.
Baked banana.
Hello.
Huh?
Hello.
Wow.
What's the baked bananas
What do you
in
guys
reference to?
feel like? How do you guys
Oh,
feel
I
about the
just
armor?
Like the baked bananas, I guess.
I like baked bananas too, honestly.
This like robe
banana
dress
nut
thing's
bread.
kind of cool. I
Yeah,
like how it's
Fosters.
glowing blue.
Mhm.
So
What about
we.
wrapped banana?
Oh, that sounds
Mm.
good.
Blizzard will be the only thing to kill WoW. Yeah. Blizzard is its worst enemy right now. Ashes will be more PvP focused than WoW. Completely different beast. Yeah, Ashes of Creation is gonna be. You're right, a completely different beast. I hope it's not only. It's gonna be more PvP focused than WoW, but I think it's gonna have a good balance with PvE as well. The armor looks kind of weird. Yeah,
I
That was
think.
the most unsure.
apparently they're
Well,
only
it's difficult. I
showing
can't
like
think of
pretty
anything but
early
bacon
level
that isn't
armors.
good,
Like
so I
none of
guess I
this
just
is
have
late
to
game
side on
armor.
I'm
good
not a
side.
fan
But-
of like sweet and savory together. I
What?
don't.
I don't like this top part. Like the shoulders and everything looks kind of weird. This like belly armor looks kind of weird. But there's some elements like this guy looks pretty cool right off the bat. I don't know how I feel about the beak-horned dwarf, but this I don't know. I'm liking this guy over on the right.
What? That's
Yeah,
literally
I'm
an
gonna be
entire
odd man
food
out.
group.
I don't like bacon and sugary bacon.
You heard it right
Mabel
here. She
bacon's
doesn't like bacon.
delicious.
I can't believe you don't like
maple
bacon.
not a
How can you
fan.
not like
You know.
bacon?
How do you not like
Bacon on donuts? No, thank you.
Wow.
Bacon and cookies? Mm-mm.
Well, we are super edgelordy today with our costumes.
We are.
So I guess it makes sense that you don't like bacon.
Yeah, the animations are a bit scuffed with the
I like-
costumes.
I like Michael Bacon.
Oh, very good.
Ah, there you go. I'll
Well,
take it.
we
And I
wanted
Oh,
love
to
PvP, I think I'm
Let's
gonna be a
be real. I just
PKer
don't
like
want
I
it
always
sweet.
do.
we wanted to
You
jump
definitely
in
can be
today
a
and give you guys
PKer.
just a quick
There's
run around in
mechanics.
some of these.
There's a mechanics built into the game that help with griefing, but you definitely have that option if you want to.
The areas that the amazing environment team has built here. One of these. Where are we at right now, Michael?
We
The
are
animation
in
is a
Elwyn
little
Ruins.
scuffed for this dress right
Ooh.
here. Like
It's
as he
very
moves
dark,
around,
mysterious, and atmospheric-y.
he's like a bald. He's like a bald chick with like a peacock feather dress and shoulders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
kind of a
usually
strange
stronghold,
mix.
apparently.
Wow.
Oh.
Loving it. So I guess, guys, we wanted to just kind of show you around a little bit. Obviously, we want to, give you some videos of Alpha 1 as the preview for Alpha 1 as we're kind of testing and how these areas are coming to life. This place is looking very good. I love the
The environment's
fog,
looking really sweet.
The volumetric fog here.
Is that
Yeah.
the ill wind?
The Elwind, yeah, that's right. Elwind.
When
Whoa.
you're deciding what lighting should be in an environment, how do you go about like deciding on the environment atmosphere?
You can
Well,
see all the
obviously,
mobs on the
you know,
map.
When we get to design, and it requires something dark and moody. Sculpt the lighting to that. But in this particular case, it was kind of weird because all these POIs
He's like showing
sit
off.
in the tropics area.
Yo, Ruck, thanks for the subscribe, man. I appreciate
very
it.
Bright,
That's really nice of
sunny,
you.
Happy kind of place. So
Yep, there's the
we had
alert
to,
right
figure
there.
out a way to,
Nice, thanks, bro.
to get it dark and moody, like inside the context of that environment.
Okay. Yeah, the environment's looking real good.
But we were able to do that with the atmosphere and the
A lot
lighting in
better,
this
at
area.
least. I think the
Yeah, it looks
character
great. I
animation
think
and
it looks,
costumes are a little
very-
scuffed still, but
Yeah, I like the detail and the destruction, which is cool, and just what is this? Oh, sorry, I guess they're not seeing it. I'm the only one that's seeing it. For some
Oh,
reason,
yeah, I'm
creepy
just-
over here.
yeah, this is what we were talking about before. It's they're in alpha right now, so they haven't even made it to beta yet. So this is still real early in development. But you can buy into alpha. You can purchase your way into it, but it's $500 USD. I don't know about other countries. So if you have the money, yeah, you can definitely get in and play it.
Uh-oh, where is it?
Format of Elwind. Oh, it's that.
And if you have the
German?
money,
Yeah, stay with
Is
German.
it the big one?
use
I
my
got
link
one.
to
Yeah.
sign up so that I can
Ooh, I'm
get a
running over to
percentage
take
of
a look
everything
at
you
him.
spend.
He looks so cool.
I think I know who you're talking about. I'm gonna enable my avoid
Ooh,
aggro. See if
Look
we
at
can
this
get a good
guy.
look at him.
this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
is sick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pause. I'm gonna pause just so we can look around this area. I'm gonna pause the server aggro. He looks pretty daunting.
He looks cool.
It's very cool.
Okay, this guy looks
Very
sick. Like, I don't know about their peacock
Massive version of the animated armor.
costumes, but that guy is looking
yeah.
And you
cool.
can kind of see how we utilize some of the different armor pieces. You've probably seen some of these pieces on different outfits, like
The little electric
Toast
dudes.
Corvid Castigator cloak is on him.
Mm-hmm.
The
And that
Lost
helmet is
Soldiers.
a darker version of one that we've seen before as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I love
So is the
about
breastplate.
the costume that I'm wearing right now is I mixed and matched it a little bit with this belt from I
You're
can't remember.
cheating.
I know.
We all
I had a little
We
cheat.
all are cheating. We all put together weird outfits.
I
But
don't know what you're talking about. I'm normal.
This belt has like
This looks a little better now that we're zoomed in and we can see the detail, but it still looks a little weird. The skirt part of it, the animation is a little
my
scuffed, and I
material
don't know how I
components for
feel about the head.
spellcasting, so I definitely feel like I'm a witch right now.
But yeah,
Good.
Yeah,
You
it's
got some
pretty
witchy
cool.
vibes.
Yeah,
You're
I think-
perfect for the
Oh, yeah.
spooky zone.
I'm just going to run around a little bit. Another thing that we did recently that's actually going to be starting
This
to
area is
test
looking cool.
today is we adjusted a lot of the back-end combat stuff. So you'll notice, like, as I go into action mode, I have my reticle, and when my reticle hovers over an enemy target, it'll turn red, essentially, showing like, hey, you have a valid target hit. That you
okay.
can see. And when
Cool.
you press Q, you can lock onto that target. You can also hold.
500. Yeah, it's no cheap thing to buy into. so yeah, you can play it, but you gotta fork up the dough.
Tab to
Or if you're a content creator, they might let you in.
alternate between targets. So like that's an important aspect of the combat that we're trying to incorporate, which is like mixing and meshing between.
Wait. It costs that much to get into the alpha, but it doesn't cost anything to buy the game to play it when it finally comes out. It'll just be like a $15 a month subscription. You don't even have. There's no box cost either. So yeah.
Tab and action, so you still have that action component.
Don't get
but
too
also are
turned off to
available
the game.
use some of your tab
It's
targeted
just
skills.
in beta
And
right
you'll
now.
see another thing we added if we open up J, is we
Whoa.
incorporated some additional passive skills.
Yeah, we got the
So you can
passive
see
skill
all
tree
these
in
passive abilities: mana regen, attack damage, critical hit damage, health regeneration, defense mitigation.
Obviously, the UI is scuffed, but I love seeing 3 separate skill trees here. The UI looks kind of terrible. That's like one of my eyes and all my games. Yeah, you're gonna have to sell a kidney to play this game early. Once the game comes out, it'll be relatively cheap, but yeah.
Maximum health. A lot of different changes from the passive side of things, and these are based on what archetype you've chosen.
So you have like 9 abilities in this. Sorry, I'm just gonna hop back. You have like 9, 10, 11 abilities in each one of these things. Or not abilities, but things you can level up in the skill tree. I don't know. I feel like that's a good amount. It's not like some of the other games.
The passive side of things, and these are
I
based
love it
on
when there's a
what
huge
archetype
skill
you've
tree and
chosen.
you can really customize how you play and stuff.
There's a lot of work obviously coming into the preview for Alpha
So
1.
hopefully they'll expand it and
Amazing
flesh it out a
testers
bit
are
more,
helping
but
us to kind of find bugs.
off to a
and
good
whatnot.
start.
For example, you can see some of the nameplates coming through the static environment meshes. But I love this environment, Bacon. The environment team's done a great job just kind of setting the mood for this area.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
more
Adam
than
was actually the
Terra.
one that was working on this initially. Using
Yeah, I don't know how
parts,
much Terra costs.
other parts that we had around.
Like I said, when the game
for
comes
other
out, it
stuff.
won't cost
And,
anything
but
to
yeah,
buy
it
it.
was just a level of
It just
destruction
costs
and
the
Wade's
monthly
got,
subscription.
pieces of the wall that are all crumbled in, and all the debris, from that destruction all around. And
The
just
skills, it's
environment
more
is
than
just really
Terra.
cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it looks great. And
Very foreboding.
obviously this set,
sure.
I'm loving this set as well. And Margaret, you helped design the set, right?
Yeah. You're wearing, I think, a combination of a couple of sets that I designed.
I
And
know.
then the one set is the mask is from a set that you designed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Death's Hand one. Yep.
No, it looks great. I love it, especially in the world.
It looks better when you zoom in.
It definitely makes me feel like I am some type of
I don't like the skirt.
arcane necromancer. The mask
Yeah, I
especially.
think you're wearing part of Face of Sorrow stuff, right? Or no?
Yeah,
That's
look at the
one
animation of the skirt. It's
and-
totally scuffed.
Mere Shade.
It's just like sticking out in every
and
direction.
The Withering.
Guys with the withering
Woods one.
ones.
Yeah, it looks great. Well, I know we have a lot of art to show off, and we're just going to jump back into the stream, but we wanted to show you guys, one of these cool places in the environment in the alpha that you guys are going to have an opportunity to take a look at. These places all grow as well with the nodes as they advance, and you're going to see creepier, crawlier things kind of come out of the world with some bosses that might appear here and there if villages reach a certain size. With that being said, we'll see you guys back on stream here in just a second.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay, cool. I don't know. What do you guys think of the gameplay footage? Like, we haven't really seen anything new, right? They're just showing off this new environment, which is pretty cool. That one main boss guy in the middle, he looks sick. And the little electric lost soldiers around him, they look pretty cool too. But yeah, and it was kind of cool to see some of the passive skill tree growing in
Reach a certain
as well.
size.
All right. Well, it seems like you guys were enjoying it. I pulled out a lot of the questions that were in chat. First of all, I do like bacon, y'all. I just don't like it with sweet stuff, okay? And
What?
I'm not a big fan of fries in your milkshake.
Oh, that's so good. How can you dare say such a thing?
I don't like sweet and savory together. It's just not my jam. But you know what? More for
The
you guys.
environment art. Let's see
I like
it.
my shake and I like my fries, but not mixed. So we did have a couple questions.
Fry in the shake. Sorry, go ahead.
No. We do have a couple questions. So the first one is from, and I apologize if I don't get your names right. You're welcome to Discord message me and tell me how to pronounce it properly.
Okay.
Nelu Motra, and they want to know, will you be able to turn off the crosshairs in your settings? And obviously, you can toggle between, action mode or not.
Yeah, so right now, the way that it's implemented, pressing Z as a hotkey, and obviously, key bindings, you can rebind how you wish, but pressing Z right now by default will switch you over into the action combat reticle mode, right?
Okay.
Now, action combat isn't just based on your camera and having a reticle, right? So some of our abilities and skills and weapons utilize
Hey,
projectiles, they
Absolute Billy,
utilize
welcome
skill
back.
shots, right?
Hello.
Those are the aspects of action combat that is available. And if you don't want to play with a reticle, you don't have to. You just switch between the tab targeting camera mode or the reticle mode. There will also be opportunities in the future for you to even swap out, what type of reticle you're using. If you, we'll have a selection of available reticles as well.
So
Okay.
folks have kind of follow-up questions to that, which is,
Sure.
so will I have to toggle between them if I want to use those different types of abilities? Is that going to be like a necessity?
No, you will not have to. You can use an ability. If you use an action combat ability that's going to be directional focused, you do not have to be in reticle mode to use that. It will fire where that reticle would be. So if you play by like feel, right, and you're in tab target camera mode, you can still utilize your action oriented skills and abilities.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other
Okay.
thing that I noticed people talking about was when you mentioned aim lock. Freeman asked, so could I just lock on and use my action combat abilities? Does that defeat the whole purpose of action combat?
No, so action combat abilities will not have a
Aim lock.
lock-on feature, so to speak, right? Some of those are going to be skill shot only.
Oh
However,
yeah, like in tab
because you can have
target
a
it, like
mix
all
and
your
match
abilities
of
lock
tab
onto the target.
abilities that require a target, you will be able to target lock in action mode as well. Right now, that's delegated to the Q key as default, but you can obviously set that up. You could put it on, your left
There's
mouse
a fly
button,
in
or you
here.
could put it wherever you want, right?
Oh,
And
that's
when
gonna
your
bug me.
reticle hovers over a target, it rapidly swaps your target ability, and when you press your target lock, it will then lock that target. And if you have tab oriented skills, you can use your tab oriented skills and they will be used against that target.
Sorry, I'm very distracted by Bacon's cat.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's so cute. It was like kissing you, like rubbing your head. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's great. We get to hear about Ash as a creation, and then we also get to watch a cat. This is like my dream. So the
It's
next
just like-
question was,
It's
oh,
just
sorry,
like
go
the
ahead.
old days, right?
Yeah,
Just
the old
don't
days.
put the cat butt on the stream. I don't want to get
Oh, sorry.
TOS issues.
Sorry.
We have Bez Milosi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Sorry. One wants to know: will you change damage numbers?
Oh, one
so
of the
they can be
races
bigger?
is
So
like
basically, can you change-
some anthropomorphic, heteromorphic thing. Yeah, there's the very final. I keep peeking, guys, so I'm sorry if it's sounding bad, but one of the last races is this crazy combination of all the races.
change your UI? Also, there were some
Yes.
questions in chat in regards to like, will crits be
Tolnar
bigger
race.
text? Like, how are you guys handling that? Because that was something
Yes.
different that they probably saw than in the
So-
past.
It's very important to note that in Alpha 1 you are not going to see a solid UI presentation. And that's because our UI currently is still very placeholder, very work in progress. But the intent
Yeah,
is
UI.
obviously for there to be some
Yeah, it
versatility
is
on
pretty
the player's
sick.
behalf
So you can like customize
to adjust
between all the
damage
characters
text
and
so that
races.
it can fit kind of their desire. Yes, there will be some different animations for those texts that display perhaps criticals and CC effects or heals. There's going to be a lot of versatility there for the players as well.
All right. Hopefully that answers your questions. And then the last one I had, which was from Squazzle, which we've answered quite a few times. And you've actually, if you've been watching our streams quite a bit, you would know this, that we will have a nighttime. We have a day and night cycle. And we actually showed off some of it in some of our previous live streams where we actually showed like beautiful lighting with the sunset. It was just amazing. I highly recommend you going back and watching that if you haven't, because it's just gorgeous. Like, I
Yeah,
can
it's
never
cool.
talk
The
enough
season
about
cycle and the day and
how
night
amazing
cycle
our
is going to be
artists
really
are.
fun.
And so I'm glad we have Bacon
It's
here
gonna be
to
fun 'cause, like,
represent. But
things
before
are
we
gonna
go
change
into
depending
art
on it.
stuff, we do have some more talking points on the design side. So you mentioned that we have the new ability and combat system with obviously the focus on cross-server instances and instance messaging and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about more of the work that you guys are doing in regards to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the reason for why the work began on the back end systems of how combat is done in our game is for optimization, performance, and also just sheer functionality that we want to see present in our construction of certain types of abilities.
Yeah.
So the previous combat system was, as we were doing testing with large player density, and we were noticing
Was
as
this gonna
players
have to
kind of
tell us
move
about how
across
the
the world and
combat's
between these border
how
regions
the combat is in
of
the
our
game?
servers, it wasn't as performant as we would have liked it to be. So we kind of had to go back and take a look at how we were facilitating this networking for not just the combat and the abilities, but how essentially they're being constructed. And we came up with an approach that alleviated some of the performance concerns, and allowed us to dial up the number of concurrent players that we have participating in battles and all across the world. So that was a necessary feature development that had to be done, kind of revamping the back end system of how combat is done, allowing us now going forward for the design team with this tool, with these tools from engineering, to construct the types of abilities we want to construct with the functionality that we want them to have and the CC effects, and also be performant at the same time.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
And obviously,
I think
if
we're
you
all
guys have
looking
follow-up
forward to
questions,
the
definitely ask
combat getting
those
an
in our
upgrade.
next Q&A, because we always do these monthly. Now, development is not always pretty. We do have issues along the way, and one of the things that we have been encountering, and a lot of our testers have been helping us with, is our AI controller and pawn issue. Can you talk a little bit about what was going on with that, how their
AI
testing has
controller.
assisted us, and like how we found a resolution to it?
Well, we haven't found a resolution quite yet.
Close though.
Close, we're close.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for the past month or so, we've been, I guess not to get too technically into it, but we've been having kind of this issue where as NPCs die in the world in our testing, right? Their behavior tree, their AI controller stays around and builds up over time the number of those AI
Can you
controllers that
explain kind of what,
exist.
going back one little step of what an AI
Sure.
controller is for people who maybe don't understand what that lingo
Yeah,
means?
it's essentially the server process that manages a particular NPC's behavior tree and other processes on the server. So as those kind of build up over time, obviously it degrades the server's performance, because now instead of what we were having, which was around 1,000 active NPCs per little section of the world, now we're getting up into the six of thousands, tens of thousands over time. It essentially, as more mobs die,
Yeah.
more of those lingering ghost controllers continue to build up, and that causes server degradation and performance issues. So we've been incorporating potential fixes for that over the last month. We've been adding additional diagnostic tools in order to identify
That's
what
a
is
problem.
causing this particular issue. We've been doing a lot of spot tests with our very patient and awesome alpha testers that have been a part of these tests, and noticing some of the degradation on the server side. And when you have the server performance starting to dip as a result of that, that's when you're going to experience things like rubber banding issues and lag with response times for activating certain types of skills and abilities, and it just kind of doesn't give the best of
Yeah, it would cause a
experiences.
lot of
So
lag.
that's been a real issue that
Instead
we've
of
been
like
hammering down
5
on over the past
monsters
month,
in
as
an
I
area,
said,
it's like
as part of this testing, and
15,000.
obviously the data
Yeah, it
and
would cause a lot of lag.
the information that we collect from each of these tests goes to help us find issues like the Ghost AI controller issue.
All right. And then,
Cool.
beyond that, one of the features that we added on was our siege. And so we've been doing a lot of siege fixes, and also
Yeah, the
doing
siege
some
was pretty
polish
cool
on that
last
front. Can you talk a little bit
last
about maybe
stream.
some of the specifics that you guys are working towards?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Siege is kind of a relatively comprehensive mode in the alpha that's intended for us to kind of illuminate issues that derive from high density player activities, right? So, we wanted to provide a gameplay loop in the alpha that would encourage players, hundreds of players, to enter a particular area, all within net relevancy of each other, to kind of really dive deep into the performance of the server and kind of our massively multiplayer encounters. So there's a few things that happens on the siege side. Obviously, having all those players in one area. Additionally, we've incorporated some raid bosses so that we have a high usage of skills and abilities that are being encountered in this, not just as a relation to player versus player, but also player versus environment. Make sure that we can kind of test the performance of our AI and the behavior trees that we have for our raid bosses. So there's three dragons that exist in the castle siege environment. Additionally, kind of testing some
Yeah,
of
the
the
dragons were really cool.
destructions that we have, the summoning of vehicles, the utilization of those vehicles, the physics that exist for those vehicles. Incorporating also some siege mechanics like capturing of control points, conferring buffs onto players on specific teams, having players delegated to specific teams in and of
sometimes it
themselves,
gets a
and
little
the affiliation
long-winded.
that exists between those players, being able to join raids with one another, being able to capture a castle, ending a particular game mode in success or failure.
Tell me
the
all the
step
possible
process that occurs where you
situations
have
that
to
this
reset
applies to.
the doors and the vehicles and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into this particular mode, all of which helps us to test these particular functions and features, so that as we move that logic on to different systems in the game, we will have had a good test bed for them in Alpha 1. So a lot goes into that. Chris Justo,
The broken down
Chang,
castle
and
in this
Corey
environment
Rice,
was pretty cool.
Alexi Kadoli, they're all very big in getting that castle siege game mode up and running for Alpha. It was a last minute addition. Obviously, we had to delay, which kind of helped us finalize and polish this process. There was some really cool sieges yesterday that we had a few hours of sieging. It was great to see that some of the balance changes that occurred on the siege level made for a pretty pitch fight. It was fun to see it go back and forth. I think in the first one, the attackers had gotten to a 75% seal on the throne, and the defenders at the last minute came and knocked them out. So that was a lot of fun to see. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
I was in meetings during all that. I didn't get to play. But we do have some siege footage up. If you haven't checked it out, we have some over on our YouTube, youtube.com/Ashes of Creation. So if you want to go check out that before you get to see some of the more polished stuff as well, it's always a good way to kind of check it out. People seemed really to have a lot of fun with it. Beyond that, you guys have been working on a lot of quality of life improvements for gameplay and kind of polishing things. Can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the quality of life improvements that people can expect from Alpha 1? Keeping in mind that some of these are not going to be finalized either. You're going to continue to add even more.
I totally missed the first part of that question.
Oh,
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
Quality of life improvements that players are going to experience in Alpha 1.
I bet Area this must be a hidden
that's
treasure.
Good question.
I think it'd be fun. This is what I want. Absolute Billy. This is what I want. I want us to form our little group, right? I want the dream team group where we have the perfect mix of classes, and we just go on little adventures, and all of a sudden we come across this castle, because the world is going to be huge and there's no fast travel. So really going into a new area and exploring it is going to be so fun.
Not quite sure.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Quality of life improvements there are in Alpha 1. I think
Absolutely, Billy. Have you joined our
core system testing? Right.
Have you joined the guild
you guys
on
have,
Discord?
Made
if you want to play
the
this game with me, you should definitely
the text pop
go join that.
Were happening before.
Okay,
a lot of more feedback.
So I saw the reticle there. The reticle turns red when over an enemy.
You weren't able to bind all your keys.
That's one of the things they were
showing
showing off.
Obviously, there might be some issues with that depending on the devices that you have, because we haven't fully tested with every single device in the world yet. But
I think I think a lot of what's being implemented, keeping in mind that with Alpha 1, many of these systems are in their core state. So as we implement additional features for these systems, like you were saying, Margaret, the
you're going to be on the EU server
stuff,
Dang.
and adjusting kind of the reticle mode and feedback for the player.
Cool.
I don't know necessarily
if I
would refer to those as quality of life per se. I mean, this is just kind of
this guy though. This guy looks sweet.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Additional features that players would come to expect based on the previous game experiences they've had. We're never going to Alpha 1's not going to get to that fully polished state. It's not intended to be a polished state experience. It's intended to be a very core functionality experience, very bare bones. And that's because, from a development standpoint, you don't want to spend a lot of time polishing something that is very likely to have more iteration and significant changes, even at the base idea.
The polishing's not going to happen until right before the game release.
That's why it looks, I know a lot of players see our alpha and they're like, oh wow, this looks great. It looks like a completed game. But really, well, I've said
Not
this in
even
the
close.
past, and I would say it again. We're not even close to the final
Not-
form. You know what I
Not
mean?
even.
Like,
Not even.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
there's a lot to look forward to. I
Man,
think
that's exciting.
many people who haven't been a part
It
of
was
the
Ruck who
Ashes
said
development
that
over the
the
past
game
few
looks
years,
pretty
they
good.
can go back
Yeah,
like
just
on
imagine
YouTube
what's
and
going
they
to
can
be
look at
like
just
once
a
it
year ago
actually
or,
gets
a year and a
polished
half
and
ago,
gone over.
what the difference between the visuals of the game and how far it's progressed over that period of time, and then how much further it will progress as we move into Alpha 2 and the
And
betas
what
and
core
the
systems
mid-launch.
have been coming online throughout each month.
Absolutely.
Like, we are truly sharing our
Mhm.
development journey with people. So it breaks my heart when folks are saying that we're not. We're like, literally, we're trying our best to show you updates. Obviously, we can't show you everything because some stuff is just not
Yes.
ready to show, right? Like, it's just not something that we're wanting to even put into the build that we're showing to our
What the
testers
heck?
yet. So I think that those are things that you just gonna have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
We have been doing some other fixes, like we are fixing some teleporting and falling through the world bugs. I know a lot of our testers have been finding a lot of those. How are you feeling about those, Bacon?
Yeah, they're fun stuff to remedy.
I can tell in his
Was just a passing,
sarcasm.
or did you?
I was passing to you if you had anything to follow up on that front.
Oh, I mean, there's, I don't know. I mean, we're just catching them as they come in and trying to do what we can to. It's such an enormous system, some of these are pretty hard to lock down. So just taking them one at a time.
Can you talk a little bit about like the back end of how those things happen, like when a player is falling through the world or that kind of stuff, how some of that works? If I know many of that is like on the engineering side, but some might be on the graphical side.
I mean, if the level bounds, we've been having some weird issues with level bounds recently, where somebody will check in a level and then it'll just pop over, to like another chunk next to it, and then basically now anytime you go to run the world, from that location, you just instantly fall through the world, and that one's been a real reoccurring issue that we've been dealing with for a while. But we move them back and we fix it up, and
Yeah, so you guys can kind of.
Fun.
I think
It's kinda
people
cool
see
to see
that
the
in a lot of games, but
developing-
they don't know on the back end like what causes them. So
It's
I
kinda
kinda
cool to
just
hear
wanted give
this.
them that little
Yeah, I mean,
journey.
sometimes it's
Them, like,
that,
sharing
sometimes
their
it's just,
problems with the
the
company and what they're
level
trying to
chunk not
improve.
loading in fast enough, and we go to teleport and just so
Yeah, and there's a lot of different reasons for why stuff like that can happen. It's that's partially why it's such a huge help that these alpha testers that we have participating, they show up for each of these tests because their activities give us the data we need in order to identify those particular issues. Because I mean, we have our internal QA teams, right? And our internal QA they're all beasts. Our QA team are some beasts, led by Sean Ferrens. But keep in mind that that team can't find everything, especially at the rapid pace of development that we're going through, right? So sometimes they only have a few hours to
they are
vet or
making
smoke test
a lot of
particular,
progress really
test
fast.
before we hand it off to the
I still
external
feel like it's
testers
too
that we
slow,
have.
right? We
And,
all want to play the
I
game right
feel more
now, and it's still
comfortable
like a year and a half out.
giving off an
I can't
external
wait
play
when the
test
game
for
comes
our
out.
Alpha 1
Do some
testers
raid,
that
guild
might
versus
not
guild
be
politics.
in the best of shape.
Bringing back
because
memories.
We have the.
I'm just excited to explore like a new game and a new world, Like, I think I've been lately in MMORPGs and like WoW and stuff. It's all about just getting like a 1% upgrade, just getting 1% more damage, or just like trying to find a cosmetic item. But with this game, we're going to be exploring and learning brand new systems and forming brand new friends and groups. It's going to be really fun.
Poor with this.
There's not going to be any like YouTube videos right off the bat on how to figure stuff out. Like, I'm sure stuff will come out pretty quickly, but right at the beginning, it's going to be a fresh start. Everyone's not going to know what to do. It's going to be really fun.
That they understand that and we understand that, and what they're doing is helping us to refine the game, and so they can see that progress each week as they participate in tests.
I want them to show
So
design
very grateful
photos
for the testers. They help us to find those issues.
Let's skip
over to our
let's skip forward
environment
to
goodies.
this.
The first thing here is going to be our object concept
okay.
art. So our concept art team has been working on a lot of different objects that are going to be in the world that you guys are going to utilize to kind
It's
of
like
make the world
in-home
living and
stuff.
breathing, to give it kind of the feel. And of course, we're
Cool
actually going to show
statue.
some of the 3D models of these as well, which when you look at the concepts versus 3D models, you guys are going to be like, what is what? Can you talk a
Yeah,
little bit
that's
about
really
the
cool.
process of how this works when you get a concept
The
art and
weapon
like
rack.
how you guys utilize it to create the final art, and I'll walk through or I'll showcase all
It's
of
gonna
those.
be like
Oh,
World of
sure, we get
Warcraft
the
when
concept
that
art
came
and then we
out.
build it.
No meta, no pre-build, no leveling guide.
And
Exactly.
And we're
End
done.
scene. Thank you.
We're done with the environment art.
No, I mean, it's, you know, we get the concepts.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then,
That's
you
why
know,
I'm so excited for it.
take a look at, you know, the race that's attached to, and
This is
you know,
cool.
and then we
This
go through the
elven,
sculpting process, you know,
like
and then
fire
building the
pit.
final model
That
and
looks pretty
textures
sick.
and all that stuff. So,
Ooh, the leveled up version.
you know, I mean, with these, for the first ones here, these are KLR assets that we're looking at, which have a kind of more of a European sort of kind of bent to them. We kind of designed them so they're a little bit, you know, they got little subtle, sharp stuff going on in them, just to kind of make them a little bit more foreboding, I guess.
And you're talking about like the
that's cool.
fireplace, the hearths.
Yeah, fireplace, the lighting,
The flags. This is all
the
KLR.
candelabras, and yeah, that kind of stuff.
And it's also important, like, you know, even in the concept stage, like, you know, there's a style guide and shape languages.
Yeah,
that need
these
to be adhered
assets
to based
are
on
looking
particular
really cool.
cultures, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The
And,
weapon rack.
yeah.
Yeah, so we created a style guide, and that's kind of, yeah, initially sort of what starts the process, and then Brian's team has been just doing an amazing job with conceptually with all the stuff that we've been plugging into the game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty cool.
And you know, and then getting the races to really differentiate between, you know, each race, so they really have their own style. And I feel like with the dwarven stuff that we've been doing, that it just feels like that race feels really solid to me. Especially with all the environment stuff that we've been doing with that. They're,
Yeah, the dwarf race
like
is
in the
for
past,
sure the
with
most fleshed out
the
so
humans,
far.
the Kalar and the Empyrean, you know, we were still kind of in that pre-production sort of zone. This is kind of a mix of assets as we kind of progress, you know, from the beginning of the project until now. And the dwarven was the first time that we really had like full-on concept crew, and then basically executing on those designs and them being a very coherent race.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as far as
This
like
all looks like
I mean, when you look at
KLR
them and
stuff.
stuff, every aspect from the structures to the props to the characters, character armors, all that stuff. I mean, they're looking really solid. And so and then as we've been doing this, we've been replacing a lot of the assets for the Kalar and the Empyrean to sort of shore them up, to get
Looking
to this
good.
kind of same realization that we have with the Denier race.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing. So we're tossing a bunch of old stuff out that we had that was early on, and sort of replacing it with the new, you know, stuff to really bring those races together.
And I just want to say,
Right.
Bacon has these like Confluence pages made for each of the different races. That's super handy for me, because when I'm designing like freehold items or things like that, I definitely look over at those guides to really guide me in regards to each of the different races and what type of building structures are like and how they should look, in order to make sure that when you guys get these like cosmetic pieces, that they fit within the world that everyone has created, and I get the okay from his end as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
this is right.
yeah, and you've been doing a fantastic job
The
with cosmetic
barricade?
stuff. I mean,
That
it's
looks
all
pretty
that stuff
cool.
is just
Those pikes.
so. But yeah, we're really excited. We're really excited
spears.
to see those 3 races that we're really developing. I mean, we're kind of working on others as well, but I mean, these are the 3 for the Alpha 1. You know, they're really starting to come together and gel
Flesh
together
yeah.
and fleshing them out. So
And then we
I don't
have
think
some
Fishmonger.
signs
Okay.
that we're going to show off. And what are these going to be utilized for? What did you guys start creating all of these for?
signs. Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
Oh.
the smithing for. Are you watching the stream, Bacon?
Oh, I'm
They're
not
all
watching
in the Run of
stream.
Show too.
Oh.
I have all the images in the
I'm,
Run of Show.
I'm on her stream page, and I'm scrolling down and trying to sorry about that.
That's okay. You can always turn the stream on and mute it.
Oh, okay.
She's talking about like the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I have
all
a
right,
Run
so
of
we-
Show with like what the text is and then like what
Yeah,
the
we
visual
had-
stuff are.
yeah, we had the service buildings that we were creating, but then we figured for like village stage and the encampment stage that we needed something that was maybe a little smaller in scope. So basically, the services kind of start with these marketplace stalls, and then they sort of graduate up to, and depending on the level tier, some will graduate faster than others, but they start with the kind of the marketplace cart kind of stage, and then they start getting their own buildings, as the node system ramps up. And so
Lumbersmith.
what these signs were for, or are for, are basically for that first layer of village, basically the marketplace stalls for those services. And so that's kind of what these are. So there was 4 of them that were made: the fishmonger, the herb press, what is it, the lumbersmith,
The
and
smithing
then
forge.
the smithing forge. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
People
it's
seem
cool.
like they really
Just,
enjoy them.
lo-
They
Cool.
said they have
yeah.
personality.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's exactly, that's exactly what we're trying to inject, is more personality
There will
with a lot
definitely
of
be
this
tavern
signage and
signs.
stuff.
I think we've shown some tavern signs in the
Hmm.
past too. So don't worry,
Yeah.
y'all. You'll get your tavern signs. Next
Yep.
up is some plants. These first 2 images
The
are in
trees are
regards to
looking
like the
sweet.
bark changes that are happening.
If we
which
can
we
edit
Yeah,
those
kind of
in line
saw
sign,
when we
just
were running
say
around in
cheap,
that
cheap.
very spooky area,
Yeah.
but it might have been hard to see because of the lighting.
Yeah, but those trees in
Yeah, it'd
general,
be
are
cool
just
if you
like
could
completely
edit the
redone
signs
from the
for
ground
sure.
up by
Yes.
That's true.
Del Casino, and yeah, she's an amazing. Like I said, she's my sister, and I've been working with Mia for over a decade, and
Man, these
man, she
plants
is
are
just so
freaking
good
awesome.
with
In World
which,
of Warcraft,
she's
they're
really
just
good with
like a
everything,
flat plane.
but yeah, she really shines with
Like, I don't know if you go
vegetation
look at
and
trees or bushes in World of
trees and
Warcraft, they're just like
Absolutely.
flat
all that kind
planes.
of stuff.
But
So
these
I
plants
love
are looking
I
really
love the
good.
revamp she did in this area, and I also love that I don't even need to really give necessarily even direction on it. I'm just like, Mia, this place needs a revamp. She's like, I'm on it.
Yep, exactly.
And I mean, you're seeing all of that come in through all of the plants that you guys have been seeing as we
Yeah.
continue to progress. So,
Like
very
these
cool
leaves
to
and
show off
stuff.
those.
Mhm.
Next up, we
These look
have
good.
the Oasis. And I actually have some screenshots here as well as
Mhm.
a
The
video that I'll be
Oasis.
playing in a moment. But
Nice.
you've seen the concept art for these. So if you go
Yeah.
back and you look at some of our previous live stream, we really want to show you the journey of how we create these things. We do it for our character art, we do it for our environment art. But like if you look at this compared to the concept, I mean,
Mhm.
And I just want to preface
just
also, as you're looking at this, I just want you to imagine how when fishing gets fully implemented and that there's a
Mm.
variance of types of fish that can be found, what type of fish is going to be here and how is that fish going to be caught and what's that process and the mini game we're going to include
Hmm.
as part of the larger fish, the fish
Interesting.
aspect of that. Because when I look at this place, I'm just like, oh man, I would love to spend just a few hours just vegging out in this area fishing.
Oh, for
That would
sure,
be so
for
much
sure.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the second, one of 2 of the large water oasis sort of areas that we incorporated into the tropics biome. We got kind of close to the end of the
Yeah,
Alpha
this is pretty
1
cool.
deliverable, and it was like,
Because
as
these
I
are
was going through the
in-game shots
concepts, I
too.
kind of realized that we did get quite a few of those concepts sort of realized, but there was still, it just felt like it was kind of still lacking some of the water element, like inland. And so I got together with Tristan and Brandon, and they put together 2 of these zones. This is just one of them, the one that Tristan was working on just recently.
You
But
always
I mean, he
see
just
that in video games, the waterfall coming out of the top of the mountains. Like, how
recently
does
put
the
this
water
in,
get
like
up there in the
literally
first
just
place?
like a week ago. So
Immersion
yeah,
and it looks
coming in,
phenomenal.
and we're coming in hot with a lot of this stuff. Just trying to get in as much as we can, to make this Alpha 1, as cool as we could make it.
Hmm.
And yeah, this whole section, I mean, Tristan knocks everything out of the park every time that he was assigned to a zone like this. Yeah, he just does amazing work.
He's such a creative mind. I love it. He
Yeah, for
actually
sure.
put together a video, and I'd love to share that if you guys are okay with me doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
absolutely.
swap over to video.
Wait,
There's
does
some music. Oh, go ahead.
Tristan likes to add music that's not approved? Is there music
No,
in
this
that's
is this is our
approved?
this is
Okay,
music
okay,
that's
okay,
approved.
okay,
This
okay,
is not
good.
silly like
All right, got
Benny
it.
Hill music.
I know.
All right,
Nice.
I approved it. All right, we'll play this and we'll be right back.
Oh, another video. Ooh. This is looking good. Look at that cool arch. The coconut trees. Man, we're getting spoiled here. Alright. It's looking pretty good. Waterfall popping out of the top of the mountain. Cool.
All right. And so I definitely wanted to show you kind of the screenshots, but I don't think they do justice. Being able to see the 3D world is definitely something. Sorry, cat distraction.
Sorry.
Is obviously much better. And for those of you who have been watching our waterfall action throughout the development process, there are some work in progress.
Having the
Waterfalls in
summer
there,
house
those are
there.
not final.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just want to make that apparent. But we have been
See, like
progressing
when
on that
you
front.
have player housing out in the real
And
world,
to keep
you
in
just
mind,
go
obviously,
stick it right next to the waterfall,
aesthetic of the
claim all that
world
land for
is-
yourself.
The environment team just does
Just
such
at the
such a
top
great
of this
job making
ledge,
you
just
guys
your
all
house
do
right
an
here.
amazing
Thank
job,
you.
and I know you get all the love from the community for that. And it's such an important aspect of obviously Ashes, because exploration is such a fun component of MMORPGs.
I love
especially
exploration.
when the world is immersive and you can do things like treasure find and fish and all of you having those things available in a beautiful environment that
It's too
really
good
lets
to
you
be
get
true.
lost in
It's
the
too
idea
good.
of this world is
Mhm.
one of the big components of immersion, and I love the work you guys are doing. You guys are doing a great
Aw.
job.
And
Thank
for
you
me,
very much.
like the fact that you'll be able to have a freehold and like build your own space is also going to be amazing. I've always loved that and enjoyed that in games because it feels like you have a piece of the land yourself, and
Mhm.
finding property that you want to live on, and like the battle between who gets it first and that kind of stuff is always exciting.
And
course-
Tristan always does such a great job with the videos. Well
Yeah,
done,
he's
Tristan.
a beast, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, moving on to character stuff because we still have a lot to go through and we have a lot of questions.
The
that we wanna
music of
answer
that
as
was
well.
really good too.
First and foremost, we have a bunch of new hairstyles.
Wow, the hair
You might
looks
have
really good.
Seen this hairstyle on Toast. I can't remember if she swapped to wearing a different helmet in the video. We've got
I don't
The
know.
more
beards.
beards. I love that female dwarf.
The hair's looking
hair.
actually
yeah.
really good.
These braids.
These character
Yeah,
models.
these are looking great. This is Chris Atkins and Jinsey doing some
Jinsey.
of these hairstyles. These are great looking hairstyles. Really love how far the character team has progressed with this pass on the characters, the races, the creatures, and the
Oh my
armors.
God.
It's all
Oh,
looking
dude.
very,
The
very
beard.
good.
Mr. Suave guy.
We need a
beard.
bacon beard.
You know what's funny about this beard, about that beard was, I feel like the hair is nicely done, but the beard is like a
Yeah.
castaway beard. Fire.
Totally.
And then I have a little turntable of one of them.
Hey,
So
look at
is
this
the hair
dwarf.
with a little bit
Hey,
of,
here's your
a
dwarf
braid in it
blacksmith.
that's in like a little bun in the back, and then of
Yeah,
course you
that's
can see
looking
the
great.
beard with a little
Did
twirl.
Manny,
Man, the
and
I think
stash.
Manny did this one.
The stash.
yeah, it's
I
lovely.
think Manny did that one.
Like,
By the way,
oh
have you
my
decided what
gosh.
race
Yeah, they're so
you'll go
leveled
for?
up.
Oh,
absolutely.
Especially with
I'm
hair,
torn between
specifically. I mean, they've
either
just
one of the
been
orc
doing some really
races
awesome stuff.
or
I'm so
the
excited
Tolnar
for
race.
character creation when we start getting that in, because a lot of people are excited.
The orc
to
races
kinda get
just
their
look
hands on
really
it and
cool.
play
Some
with
of the
it.
concept art.
I
I mean,
they've
you have to
put
have a
out for it.
really, as somebody says, and as Caveman only says, you have to have a strong beard game.
Very much
And
so.
that's
I
that's a
agree.
very strong beard game. I like.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Death's Hand, which you might have seen on. I think I was wearing the breastplate and the cape part. Steven was wearing the mask. Bit of
This
I
looks
was wearing
pretty
the belt,
cool,
too.
actually.
Yeah, what's great is that Corey Rice did me a big solid last night. He stayed late to get some of these costumes in so that we could be wearing them on the stream today. So big props to
Nice.
Corey on that front.
Corey, I
Hey,
almost
yay,
cried
Corey.
this morning because I was like, when I was putting them on, because
Wow.
for me, obviously I helped design some of these. This one I think you did, the Death's Hand one you designed.
Yeah.
But seeing what you create getting into game is just very emotional. I don't know why. I got really emotional.
Oh, I know, right? I'm gonna be scared of my emotional state when we
Some of
actually
these
When we
look pretty
launch.
cool.
Yeah.
I know. It's just like, I'm gonna just be bawling, but no.
Aw.
Is this like a shirt or are these like ribs here? I don't know. It looks like he's wearing skin.
Oh, it's happy tears.
Or
though.
she's wearing
I
skin.
love that our artists put them in the poses that
I
they are
kind
in the
of,
concept
I kind
art
of think
for
it's
the
cool that it's like a
turntable of this.
ragged.
But obviously, we've shown off a lot of different costumes and things of that sort.
Shadow or
so I wanted to
tattoo?
show this
Yeah,
one.
I don't know.
We also have our still soul plate,
Probably
which is coming around.
Shadow. Hey,
I think
Alex.
you've been seeing the progress
Thanks
of
for
this one.
subscribing.
We've been getting
There
a lot of
it
feedback
is.
in regards
Bam.
to it. Obviously, the goal is
Thank
to
you
make
for
it kind of feel
subscribing.
like
That means
this
a lot.
encased ice armor.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
That's really what
crew.
I was going for when I designed it. So we've continually added some
Man,
more
this
changes
ice
to it
giant
as
thing is
we
looking pretty
move
sweet.
forward.
Did they show the front of it?
Danny did this and did a great
Yeah,
job.
I
with
think
this
that's pretty
set.
cool.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's looking good.
We have a
Fantastic.
turntable of it as well, so you guys can see it in the 3D model.
It's got like this mace pickaxe thing. Is it? It's a one-handed weapon. He's holding another
give it a little
sword. That's
pose,
really
which I
cool.
love.
So edgy.
And we made the
so
sword
edgy.
and the giant staff.
I don't know if
Literally.
edge is the word I'd use, but it's
Yeah.
really
Definitely has a lot
cool.
of edge.
A lot of edge.
See, this
lot
is
of
what
ice
we need. We
edges.
need beefy stuff
I will be
like
honest,
this.
the edgelordy cosmetic sets are my favorite to design. That's definitely my inner goth.
Yeah,
vibes
we need
coming through.
beefy boy stuff.
Speaking of which, we have Brass Harbinger.
What
Some of this
the
is work
heck?
in progress.
is this
so
white
just
monkey?
keeping that in mind that these are work in progress images, but we always like to show you guys the work in progress as we move forward and continue
What the
to
heck?
add new things.
I was not
We also
expecting
have
this.
the 3D turntable of this
This
bad
is-
boy.
Look at
I like it because in one of the I think of the way that image was set up, it looked really small in this.
Just wait.
Yeah.
The reason why that's like that, you're going to see something. You're going to see
Okay.
something exciting. That's why he's tiny.
Hmm.
Are you guys ready?
Oh no, I'm scared
What the heck?
now.
So we
Let's see
try to
this.
tell you guys that we make a lot of variants from the different creatures that we create so that you experience different creatures in the world. And we do show a lot of them every month, but this one I'm just so excited to share with you all, which is this guy.
Whoa.
He's so
Big
epic.
boy.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, these are T-poses, obviously. For some
I
of
can't
these.
wait to see that as
Man.
like a group boss. Oh, I can imagine some of the.
Oh,
I
when
feel
it
like the
picks
horns
up
out of the head
four
look a
people.
little
I
funny.
know.
Like carries them in the air
There's my
and you have
beefy
to like
thing. Yeah.
shake the hand to like get him off. Like, oh, so cool. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what the
I don't
design
know.
team does with these, and of course the
And
different variants that come out of it.
This is Keith Kovac.
It's got some like White Hound of Sauron stuff going on.
It's looking good.
All right, and I think we're ready to head on to our Q&A. Unless you have anything else you want to add on the character art side.
All right,
Stephen
Q&A.
or Bacon.
Last thing that I'm looking
No,
forward
just
to.
a lot of
Whoa,
stuff
is it
coming
a-
out of the
it's
character
like a
team. Chris
half an hour
Atkins
long
and,
Q&A.
and Jinsey and Danny.
I don't know if we're gonna
and
listen to the whole
Carson and Manny. You guys are all doing a great job. Keith, all doing an awesome job. Stuff's coming to life, and it's awesome to see it getting into the game and in alpha.
This is really like Stephen being a teacher, seeing if he can remember all his students' names.
I know, and I'm.
You
oh
start
my God,
naming
if
them, like,
I
oh, now he's
forget,
gotta name
I'm
everybody
so,
on that
if
team.
I forget,
I'm just
if I'm
kidding.
so sorry.
I'm just messing with you. Moving on to our Q&A. Of course, we'll play like a little bit of a video in the
All right,
background whilst we
Q&A.
chat.
Let's hear this.
Try to get through as many as can. I think I have about 30 something here, so we'll go quickly.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
30
so
questions.
we have Tyranthraxis. I'm sorry if I pronounce your names wrong. Talking about temporary mounts. Will players receive any kind of memento by which to remember any of the amounts that can die or expire, like a core item? Oh,
No. Once it's
Aw,
gone,
dang it.
it's gone. I'm sorry.
All right.
savage.
Makes
You're
sense.
just like,
Oh, we have 30
Nope.
questions. Yeah.
I'm just messing. Half Tilt Gamer wants to know from our forums augments. Will I be selecting augments on a per skill basis, or can I only choose one augment school for my whole build?
Ooh, this is a good
We'll be
question.
selecting them on a per skill basis. So the augments will stem from a few things, from your secondary archetype selection, from
Right.
perhaps any organizations and or religions you're a part of, and then
Races.
as you as you have those selections available and you go across your individual active skill set that's derived from your primary archetype, you'll have a selection of augments that will be applicable to different skills.
Okay.
All right.
That's really
Our
cool.
next question is in regards to bounty hunting, and this is from Dante Machiavelli. I like saying the name Machiavelli. It's fun.
Machiavelli.
That's a great name.
Isn't that
Great
from?
name.
Isn't that from?
Matrix.
No, but
From the
yes,
Matrix?
it is from the Matrix. But I thought Machiavelli wasn't that a Sherlock Holmes villain or something?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I
Machiavelli.
remember, you know, how I remember that, right? It's from a Star Trek episode. Next Generation.
Of course.
Ah,
Yes.
Of course.
something to
it's
do with the
from Star
holodeck.
Trek.
Got to have something to do with the
I might be
holodeck.
wrong. It might have been something else. I don't know. Starts with an M. Moriarty. No, that's Moriarty.
Oh,
Moriarty.
Moriarty. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering. I was like,
Embarrassing.
what is Machiavelli? I'm like, I can't remember that.
Okay.
All right. So this question is about bounty hunting, and it is: if multiple bounty hunters team up to try and take down corrupted players, who gets the credit for the kill? Entire party, or just the person who gets the last hit on them?
For right now, it's going to be the person who gets the last hit. We may change that to any contributing damage source.
Okay.
But we'll see. But for right now, it's last hit.
Okay. And
So bounty hunters gotta go solo.
Skyly02 wants to know about item previews. Will players who want to purchase things like mounts in a trade or auction be able to preview them before buying them? So having like a little preview window that you can see it on your character.
Right now, that is not planned. No. So if you have the ability to kind of see other players with it, right, or see it as part of like caravans or something like that, then you'll have insight. But otherwise, no, there won't be like a preview section for player-to-player trading or auction house.
Do you think that's something that maybe down the line, like past launch, that we could maybe implement as like a UI quality of life update?
Maybe. It's definitely not in the scope for pre-launch, but maybe afterwards.
Hey man, I'm just trying to,
Interesting. Okay.
No, I
develop
know,
some questions for him.
I'm just trying
and
to
of
keep
course-
the scope in range. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
I have engineers and
Jalon-
character team killing me. Sorry, go ahead.
Jalon wants to know about music. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you either. Will Intrepid own the distribution rights for the music made by Bear McCreary for streaming DMCA purposes?
Yes, the Ashes of Creation and Intrepid Studios will own the music of Ashes of Creation.
Yeah, and just so you all know, when we put out any music or put out any music in our game, our plan is to not, we want content creators to be able to create content utilizing our game. So, just
DMC takedown.
Yeah, just message us and we'll try to resolve any of those problems if
Okay,
you do
cool.
encounter any. So just,
Yeah.
keep me updated and I will resolve it for you. But I'm usually pretty forward thinking on that front. Our next question is from a Rise site, and they want to know about resistances. Will each monster have its own set of resistances and vulnerabilities, or will the game feature specific types, i.e. like D&D and Pokemon?
So monsters will have certain types of resistances, right? And there will be counterplay between how characters construct their skills and abilities with influences from types of resistance penetration, and that will be a contested stat against the resistances of a particular monster, right? Not every monster is going to have unique resistances, right? They'll share groups of types of resistances based on, whether that monster is a particular element affinity or a particular, heavy armor, particular weapon type, stuff like that. So there will be resistances groups that are shared by certain types of monsters and their location and as it relates to their lore and background and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Okay, and then Nostra wants to know about siege scrolls. Is a siege scroll able to be modified once it's obtained? If the if the
siege
node
scroll.
advances while we were questing to get the scroll itself?
No. The questing that is incorporated as part of attaining that particular scroll is very particular to the type of scroll you're attempting to acquire. And that is inclusive not just of the materials required as part of that questing, but also the time associated with completing that quest, because we want there to be a reciprocal relationship between how much time it takes to stand up a node of the particular size and the types of quests that are required in order to attain the siege scroll. So there won't be a method by which you can first attain a scroll for a lower level node and then increase or augment or change that scroll after you've completed the quest. You'll have to go through a new quest again for the type of level node you want.
All right. And continuing the siege trend, we have grilled cheese mojito, which I think is an epic name. Also sounds
a
kind of
great name.
gross. Like, I'm not sure I'd want a grilled
Grilled
cheese. I like grilled cheese and I like mojitos, but I don't know if I want them together. That just sounds
I like
weird.
grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Ooh, yeah. I want that. I think I might do that for
I
lunch.
think I have that for lunch.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that for lunch. Stephen and I have a meeting after the stream later today. We'll be eating our grilled cheese and tomato soup. Our question here is, what will you do, if anything, to ensure balance between sides of a siege?
This is a good question. Bouncing out sieges.
That's an interesting question. So, do we as the developers want to ensure balance? Not necessarily. I mean, obviously there are points of balance that we want to incorporate, such as the defense mechanisms that the defenders have, the types of buffs that are acquired through completing to killing the bosses or capturing control points, the stages before a siege when it comes to those node progressions in the preceding weeks. Those are all going to be balanced, considering all things being equal between the two sides. But obviously, we're not going to control the state of gear acquisition that one side might have as an advantage over the other, right? There might be a much better geared team over there. There might be a much better coordinated team. There might be a higher number of individuals who are a part of the attacking or the defense, right? Those are components that we aren't necessarily going to put on railroads, so to speak. But the aspects of design that we can talk about, like the hit point health of a particular wall or door, or mercenaries that can be hired. What's their cost? What's their damage output? Those are things, yes, we're going to balance. But obviously, anything that's player dependent or that has player interaction and activity and determination, you can't always balance, and you don't want to balance those aspects, right? You leave those to the players to kind of coordinate.
And then obviously,
that's a really good point. Like if they were to either time gate it so you can't kill it super fast because you're just spurging it down, that's lame. So they don't want to add a balancing mechanic that way where one side can't just wipe the other side off. But they do want it to, if it was just one person versus one person, they do want it to be balanced then. Okay.
On that.
Interesting.
When it comes to more competitive,
I'm glad that's the case.
Arena stuff.
I don't think everything has to be fair and balanced all the
ranking
time.
System for those that would be applied for tournament style stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So the server will keep a record of guilds' performance and the guilds' win-loss rate for guild wars and other types of competitive, either even PvE on the PvE side when we talk about completion of content and the first to down a world boss, or those types of things will be kept as part of a record for guilds and or nodes and citizens and stuff like that. It's always fun to see.
There's going to be a lot of world firsts
as a player,
and stuff.
Your accomplishments get displayed as part of that server history, right? And to keep a record of those things, that's always cool to have available to you.
Our next question is from Acareto. I don't know. Actually, I don't know why I said it like that. But their question is about corrupted areas. If the corruption in an area is not fought back by players, how far can the corruption grow?
That's a very good question. There are certain effects that can happen in a world that does not have a proper response from the player population. And that's the whole idea behind, these events that can happen that, feel like these are natural world progression events. If corruption starts to show itself as a response, as a pushback to the player's development of nodes in the world itself, there are certain things that can happen, such as the spawning of dragons or hordes of zombies that are going to come out and attack those installations,
those
cool nodes, those points of interest, and players that don't.
So the corruption is basically the PvE mechanic of the game, where there has to be constant maintenance of it, or else it's going to get out of hand, and then you're just going to get overrun by some crazy zombie or, like they said, dragon.
Communities that don't respond to those in an effective way might see the disabling of certain services, the reduction of certain quest lines for particular organizations. The idea is to keep this as part of a believable living response from the world. So those
That's really cool because it also ensures that communities work together, right? Like if the corruption's about to overtake your node or your village that you've been building up with your guild or stuff, like you're all going to want to group together to fight off that corruption in some way. I'm not sure how that's going to be done, but it's cool that it involves the
bad effects that can
community.
happen for the community.
It's not just a one person thing.
Bacon, you're gonna have fun making all those environments for as they.
We already started.
I know.
We have a few of them right now in Alpha 1. Yeah,
Nice.
this looks
That's
great.
really cool.
Yeah, that element looks
How the
amazing.
environment will change with
Yeah.
the corruption
You guys
too.
look back, I think a few streams ago, we showed some of the hotbed area, and that's an
Mhm.
example of how corruption starts seeping into the world as a starting point, right? And
Yeah.
there's going to be abilities for that to progress and move forward and activate spawners of certain types of enemies around a node, and get players to respond to that.
Wow.
Yep.
I think that means in some cases you would want the corruption to spread, right? Do you think that there's going to be that faction of people that want the corruption to grow and spawn because they can fight certain mobs or get certain items from it?
Our next question is
something to
from
think
Kodu, and they want to know about
That's really cool.
respawn. Will non-corrupt players always respawn at the closest respawn point, or will they have a choice of where they can respawn?
It's going to be closest. You won't have a choice on the respawn. However, with that being said, certain events may disable respawn points based on proximity to the event and might respawn players further away. And that has to do with the lore behind, death and resurrection and what it means to have your soul connected as a conduit of that, spark of life given from the goddess of creation, being that phoenix type of avatar. And if corruption has moved into an area and an event has started, that the access to those kind of ley line oriented respawn points may be obscured, might not be accessible. So that could create some additional distance that needs to be traveled as part of these types of events.
That's cool. I love living, breathing world stuff. It gets me excited. This next question is going to be for both of you. So kind of think of your answer, but Stephen, you can kick it off with the first answer and then give Bacon time to think about his response. It's from Cornelius, and they want to know, it's kind of in regards to Alpha 1 as a whole. If you had to choose one thing to be as good as possible for Alpha 1 from your perspectives, what would it be? And Stephen, if you can kick us off.
What's the objective
I would
of Alpha 1?
say probably super performance. That's obviously Alpha 1, as we've said many times, is a very technical alpha. We have stood up a lot of the core systems. But one of the primary focuses one of the primary focuses is vetting the fundamental architecture of how the networking component of the world, of the game itself, is going to exist. So that foundation is strong and secure moving forward, and we can build upon that, right? It bodes very well, I think, for some of the activities that we have been seeing, and we can take those then to scale further. But vetting that the basic needs of our networking are met, and that we feel confident moving forward.
Makes sense,
and building
right?
upon that is probably the most important aspect of Alpha 1. Front-facing kind of visuals aren't really the focus. Content is not really the focus. Even combat in its current form, I wouldn't say, is what you should be expecting come launch, right? So those things are going to have a lot of changes that occur over the different testing periods as we move through.
It's getting
them,
me
as we
excited
continue
to
flesh them out,
see and
as
keep
we
up with the updates. Then.
determine what all of those core gameplay loops are going to look like in their final state. I wouldn't look to Alpha 1 to represent that to any player that's thinking, oh, what is Ashes going to be when it launches? But instead, this really gives us, we've taken this transparent development process thing to heart, meaning that you guys get to watch every step of the way as we develop the game. And for me, being a gamer as an outsider to the industry when I started the company, that was such an important thing, because I want other people who don't have the insight what it takes to make MMORPGs to watch this process. And we've had obviously our fair share of flack from the beginning, and we still have that today. But at the same time, there's a lot of very passionate developers that are part of the Intrepid team that are working day and night to make sure that this game lives up to the expectations that we as developers and that our community has as well. So the technical components of Alpha 1 are really the focus, establishing kind of what the foundation for us as a team moving forward is. That's the primary focus.
For you, Bacon, if you could pick one thing that you want to be as good as possible, what would it be?
Well, I mean, like Steven just mentioned, like it's not really about as good as possible at the moment. I mean, for me, it's like it was putting enough components in place where we have a clear direction as far as like where we're moving forward in terms of our technology, like the node system specifically.
Okay.
Like I'm very happy, not with its finished state.
I mean,
Yeah, the dynamic sense of it, it just requires so much.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end the stream right here. I need to take care of some things, but I might hop back on a little bit later. I appreciate you guys' support here. Alex, Rux, subscribing. Like, this is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I want to get back on and stream as soon as I can. So yeah, thank you for participating in this. We're gonna keep up with this game. I'm gonna keep making videos about it too, so I'm excited to see the progress. We just have another half an hour of Q&A, and as much as I love Q&A, I just don't have the time to listen to all of it right now. Great. Well, as always, guys, break a leg.